I was kind of interested in watching this video from Jordy. What exactly is Classic Plus? Because I'm hyped for Classic Plus. I think after TBC and Wrath Anniversary, I want to find like the one place, the one WoW that you can like, I guess, call home again, you know, like it's gonna keep getting updated and shit with new shit, but it's not retail. Classic Plus is gonna be that for me, probably.
Remember that feeling when you first started playing World of Warcraft? You'd race home from school, throw your backpack on your bed, get on the computer, sit down.
I remember when I was in middle school, I was playing Arena in Cataclysm. At school, I was calculating how many weeks I needed to do Arena in order to buy my weapon or something like that, because you're capped on the Arena points every week. So I remember like doing math at school, but it was like for WoW, for when I got home. I was crazy.
Regardless of when you started playing, we've all had that feeling of not knowing what's over that mountain, what challenge is next, what piece of gear may be the next big upgrade that some random boss in a dungeon just so happened to drop.
That is so true. That is what WoW used to be. Now, everything is solved, at least in Classic. Everything is already solved. The BIS lists are out there. The tactics for all the bosses are out there. And that is why Classic Plus is so exciting, because it's going to give you new shit, and not everything is going to be solved ahead of time, and you have to go and explore and figure shit out. And that is why SOD was so fun, because you had to do all that stuff, even though it takes like a day and then people already put together the BIS list, you know, but that's always going to happen.
Blizzard has dropped hint after hint after hint that they're working on something big with the community.
Wait, what is that?
Dropped hint after hint after hint that
keeping it classic. Seasonal discovery wound down. Oh, I didn't see. Is this something they posted? And then they added a bunch of plus signs? Dude, that's kind of nice. Okay.
What exactly is Classic Plus? No, really.
Okay. What is it? That is a good question, because for everyone it's different, right? I think everyone imagines a different perfect WoW. Classic, at least. I think like the base level is the original World of Warcraft with expansions that aren't a new level cap, a new continent, but just more zones, maybe quests, new stuff to do, more content in like the original world and level cap and design, basically. That's the basic answer, I guess.
I'm asking you, person watching this video, what is Classic Plus to you?
But that can, as he's saying, like that can look a million different ways based on who actually designs it and who imagines it, you know?
The diamonds
all the way behind
Strat, bro.
I'm netted. Yo, help me get out.
These fucking
really
mobs are a pain in the fucking ass, man. Oh, legit.
Look, I still argue that wasn't my fault.
You just need the fucking LOS, man. That's
Only
it.
and I
Just
kept
LOS.
talking about
The polling system, right? Everybody keeps talking about it. I was thinking that they're not gonna do a voting booth system in WoW Classic because they had the golden opportunity to try that shit in SOD. They didn't try it for some whatever reason. They should fucking try it. Or should have tested it at that point, because it was the perfect time to test that shit. But they did say in the stream just now that they will survey players to figure out what they want, which means maybe there's a possibility we'll get like a voting system in Classic Plus. That is what people are asking for, so I don't know, we'll see. What is this? Oh, okay, we'll have to look at this after. So basically, what is it saying? That if we kill this guy, then there's no TBC, and then we can just stay in Classic Plus forever. Blizzard didn't make the voting booth, so they made it instead. Yo, that's a cool announcement, man. Everyone check out Jordy on YouTube. I like this guy. I'm gonna subscribe to him. Okay, man. Give him a like. Okay. Should we just try this survey? Obviously, if I was gonna play a warrior and Shaman is only on Horde, why the fuck would I pick Alliance, you know? No fucking Wind Fury, bro? Ain't gonna happen. So it depends. Like, if Alliance has Wind Fury, then I could consider playing Alliance. I like both factions, to be honest. I don't have a preference necessarily. It's more like, what did I recently play, and then I'm sick of that, and then I choose the other one. I do think the Alliance has better cities in Stormwind and Ironforge. but the Horde has better racials and cooler races overall. So I don't know, honestly. Whichever is best for raid arena, this is about. Dude, I'm gonna pick that one. Whichever is best, bro. Yeah, it's so true, man. So true. Honestly, I would never play a dwarf or gnome, even though gnome is so good for warrior PvP. I don't think I could ever play a gnome. It's just, I don't know. Whatever's best for the thing I'm doing, dude. This is why, okay, so I watched Savix talk about this. He said that, imagine in Classic Plus, there's a system that if you get exalted with the faction of a race, you can get their racial. That would be sick, man. That way you can actually play the race that looks the best to you, you know? The one you want to play, instead of picking based on racials. I always pick based on racials because it's like, why would I handicap myself by not having the best racials? Except if it is a gnome, because I just can't play a gnome. If they add stuff to Classic Plus, they can also remove stuff. Gnomes. Exactly, bro. Just remove them, man. Ay, ay, ay. How often do you play WoW a week? Oh my god. Every day if I can or more. 20 plus hours. Probably 40 plus hours at this point. Not gonna lie. It's a lot of World of Warcraft in my life right now. But it depends. I have periods, right? Like where I don't play at all and then I sweat like a shit ton. No Classic Anniversary, Season of Discovery, Classic Relaunch, only expansion beyond Vanilla. I never played Vanilla. Yes. I picked Gnome in SOD because I thought they were cute. Then I hated being yeah. Exactly, man. Don't do that shit. Which of the following labels describe you? Choose as many as you feel accurate. I'm in a casual guild, but I like to take it seriously, you know? Like, I feel like I'm somewhere in between casual and hardcore. Because I'm not like sweating, I'm not trying to join a hardcore guild, but I do take it seriously and I want to parse good. Like, I'm always looking at my parses and shit. So I don't know. PvP, that's about it. How likely are you to play Classic Plus? I can't wait to log in. Yep. Would you pay a box fee for Classic Plus? If so, how much? Dude, don't. If it costs more than just my subscription, I won't play. I would probably play, no matter what. But, man, I don't want to check these off because then Blizzard will think that we want to pay for the game. I'm just gonna, you know what? I'm gonna pick this because I want to show Blizzard that they should pick this. That's the only reason. Because even if it costs money, I would probably pay it to play. But I don't want to. I don't think it should be. I think it should be in the sub. Touch the models and I quit. I wouldn't necessarily quit. Yeah, I don't know. It's a 2. Modern WoW character animation, absolutely fucking not. I hated how I played a rogue, right? And they changed fucking ambush to shadow strike, and it just didn't feel the same anymore. It felt different. I don't like it. Modern WoW spell effects, no thank you. Modern WoW UI, player and target frames, action bar nameplates. I feel more positively about that because the edit mode, at least that they released on anniversary, I like a lot. I don't know. I like the old UI, but I want the option to edit it. That's the thing I want, the edit mode. I don't like the many server thing. I think it should be only one server. Because I hated how you have friends or something from a different friend group, or you meet new people and they tell you they play WoW. Oh, sorry, I'm on a different realm. We can't play together. Fuck that shit, man. Blizzard might look at this and actually consider some of these things. Who knows? It's interesting to talk about these things anyway. How would you feel if Classic Plus had an element of seasonal servers resetting every couple years? I mean, it is nice to start over and like go fresh. That is true, but I would like to see the updates first. They're gonna keep updating the game, right? Like we want to see all the updates and stuff. That's the exciting part about Classic Plus, I feel like. How would you feel about layers in Classic Plus? The thing is, if you're gonna have mega servers, then you need to have layers. If you want to have a lot of servers, then you can go without layers, and then it's more of a, you recognize a lot of people's names and stuff like that, which is a good part of the game. But I just hate the fact that there's so many servers and everyone is on different servers and they have to pay to swap servers. I'm not sure which one I want to pick here. I guess layers are fine because I want mega servers. I guess I have to pick layers are fine if they're gonna do mega servers, but in an ideal world, no layers is the best one. But I think for mega servers, we need layers. And I would rather have people on one server than being separated and shit. Like yeah. Should the size of the race be reduced from 40? This is a big one for me because the fucking roster thing about raiding is the most annoying part of raiding for our guild. I've always said that flex raiding, or the way that they did it in SOD, is so fucking good because Classic Plus should be for casual players, and the casual guilds are gonna have a lot of people who can't show up to raid every day or every week, that have, family, whatever, and they're not gonna be able to show up. So what you have to do then, you have to recruit more than let's say it's 40 people. If you want to fill that 40 man, like obviously in Classic the raids are easy. You don't actually have to fill all the way up to 40 to clear the raid. But let's say they introduce a new raid that is a little bit more challenging and you actually want to be 40 people. Then you have to recruit maybe like 10 extra people to be ready to step in when people can't show up. But then that means if a lot of people sign up, now you have to bench people. And if you bench people, they're going to quit the guild or they're going to quit the game. They're not going to continue playing, most likely, if they keep getting benched, right? You're forced to either over recruit and bench people or play with less people every week. And it's just fucking annoying. And also, in our guild, we're like a tight-knit social group. And if we're gonna recruit all the way up to 40, that's gonna completely change the dynamic and the good social dynamic that we have in the guild. Like, that's gonna feel so different. Like, we can expand up to 20, that's fine, because we already have like 15 or whatever that we kind of know. All the way up to 40 is gonna be like a whole new thing. I think I would prefer this. Like, let's say the raid size is 20 and you bring 39 people. That's gonna make it piss fucking easy. That's what people did in SOD, right? It's gonna make it too easy. If it's possible to make it flexible so that the challenge scales with the amount of players, that would be the best way, I think. Turtle WoW has dynamic scaling, so you can do MC as 15 or 40, and the HP mobs gear drops changes accordingly. Yeah, I think that is the best way to do it, honestly. And then you can bring literally every single person in your guild that signs up. Isn't that fucking amazing? Being able to bring everybody, not bench anyone. We need this. I think this is like one of the most important issues for me when it comes to Classic Plus is flexible rating. Should Dungeon Finder be implemented? The one in Anniversary right now where you queue up to like a group finding system, but you don't like automatically get grouped with people and teleport to a dungeon. It just helps you find people to play with. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see the modern version. Should summoning stones outside the dungeon raids be implemented? I don't know. Like, obviously warlocks are serving that purpose. That's kind of their thing in vanilla. But at the same time, it's so nice to have the quality of life. I think I'm going to pick no option on this because I don't really care either way, I think. Because it's super nice to be able to summon people. But again, you have warlocks for that. I don't know. I'm gonna click yes, fuck it. Should there be heroic dungeons? Maybe, depends on how they implement them. I think that is gonna be my choice. I think they definitely should introduce more endgame content that is not on like a weekly reset and requiring you to collaborate with like a lot of fucking people. I wanna log on to the game and play the game. I don't wanna have to wait for Wednesday reset to play. I want to have something interesting to do, something fun to do in between all of that time. And something like heroic dungeons could be interesting. Because I want to have a reason to go back and do dungeons. Why not? Scarlet Monastery is fucking sick. If I had a reason to go into Scarlet Monastery, why the fuck not? But it depends how they implement them as, like, again, if you're forced to do it for some sort of gear requirement or you're forced to do it for some other reason, then no. I think it should be an alternative way to gear up, maybe, or like help you get previous, something like. I'm not sure how exactly they would do it, honestly. Maybe heroic dungeons, maybe not heroic dungeons, but maybe something like all the low level dungeons, you can scale them up to like 56, 57. And then they drop gear at that level. And then you have more pieces to choose from in your previous gearing than already exist. You just have more options, basically. Hard mode, maybe, like in Uldor. Yeah, that could be a thing. But then it would only be the high level dungeons, right? Because I would love to do fucking dead mines at level 60. Why the fuck not? That would be so fun. But then they would have to scale it somehow. Again, depends how they implement them. But yeah. Should there be rated PvE in Classic Plus? Mythic Plus, Mage Tower, Prestige levels? Mythic Plus? No, I don't think so. I mean, we're already using Warcraft logs. If that is what they mean by rated PvE, like logging, then maybe. Completely depends how they implement it. I think I'm gonna press no, because if they mean these things specifically, because this leaderboard, level 60 rating leaderboard, that means Warcraft logs, right? Like that I'm fine with. We're gonna use that either way, most likely, right? Maybe it shouldn't be in the game, but it should be, because Warcraft logs is not in the game. And maybe that's a good thing, because that's something community driven, right? It's not something that Blizzard is cultivating, I guess. Should it be rated PvP? Rated Battlegrounds, Arena Dueling? I think yes. I think when it comes to PvP, I don't think arenas necessarily should be a thing in Classic Plus. I think it would be too unbalanced and clunky. They would have to do a lot of changes to the game to make arenas balanced. And I don't know if that's what it needs. But rated Battlegrounds, for sure. I think that would go hard in vanilla. No consumes in vanilla BGs. Like in vanilla BGs is all about like how many fucking consumables you can pop. Should AoE looting be implemented? No opinion. Like I'm fine with either, to be honest. What feature of world buffs would you want to see in Classic Plus? Check all that applies. More variety would be nice. Maybe weaker, because they are a bit OP. Like if you don't have world buffs, you're so weak compared to everyone who has world buffs. Something like Chrono Boon and maybe buying, because I don't like how you need to have a world buff in order to be able to parse, for example. I would like to see some changes to the world buffs at least, and that could be just the Chrono Boon. That is fine by me, but you know what? No world buffs in raid. Honestly, classic raids, right? They're super easy, and I'm expecting some kind of class and spec balancing and rotation updates to certain classes, which are gonna make us a little bit stronger overall. So actually not being able to have world buffs in raid is gonna make the raids a little bit more challenging, but also not that challenging because our classes are probably a little bit stronger as well. And I think that is actually a good middle ground. Because if they do like in SOD where you get extra abilities or extra passives, that makes you stronger, that makes your rotation more interesting, but also remove world buffs, that's gonna make a nice balance, I think, in the raid in terms of difficulty. That's another thing, like I watched Sfand do a video about this, how we are killing the bosses so fast in vanilla now that we don't even see the mechanics that they do. A lot of them are doing a lot more mechanics than we think, we just don't see them. So it would be interesting to have more HP on the bosses and stuff. So yeah, I think no world buffs in raid would be a good thing, because then if you die, you don't have to worry about it. You're not losing all your world buffs. How would you feel if Kazbot trimmed down capabilities of add-ons and weak hours? I'd be happy to see them gone. Honestly, I think yeah. But at the same time, like it depends. It kind of depends. If you have edit mode and like maybe a damage meter inside of the game itself, improvements to the UI in the game itself, then yes, get rid of the fucking add-ons. If the everything is just gonna stay exactly the same, I would feel kind of weird without any add-ons. I wish there was an option to say if they improve the base game UI and stuff like that, like the edit mode, then I'd be happy to get rid of add-ons. I don't really care about it. But if there's no changes to the UI or any way to adjust stuff and change stuff, then I want to have add-ons. So just let me keep my auto combat quality of life add-ons. Maybe that one. I'd be happy to see them go if they improve on the base game. Should mount level recurrence be lowered? I think, honestly, listen, I think it depends. If they add more flight paths, for example, that has been a thing that a lot of people have been talking about, like more flight paths in certain areas, then we can probably go without mounts. But right now, waiting all the way to level 40 to get your first mount, that shit takes so long to run around on foot, man. Like at least lower it to like 30, like in TBC now, I think that's fine. I know a lot of people I'm guessing most people clicked no on this, to be honest. But I just fucking hate. Like 30 is fine to me. Even 20 would be okay, I think. Should flying mounts be implemented? Absolutely not. No flying mounts. The world isn't even designed for flying mounts. The reason they added flying mounts in those zones in Cataclysm is because they revamped the entire zones so that they would look good from like above, you know? Like right now, there's probably a lot of like empty spaces and weird shit that you would see from the air. It wouldn't make sense to have flying mounts in classic vanilla. Should guild banks be implemented? Yes, why not? I like guild banks. I don't see any reason why you wouldn't have it, just to make it easier. Like the alternative is your guild has a alt somewhere with all the stuff in it. Like just make a guild bank. Why not? Should Classic Plus have achievements? It's fine. I don't care. Achievements, no achievements, it doesn't really matter to me. Should reputations be streamlined, made easier to level? So this goes back to the racial stuff. Okay, so if you could get exalted with a faction to change your racial ability, like Savix said in one of his videos, which I thought was a great idea, because then you can actually play the race you want to play. Then I think being able to earn that reputation with the faction should maybe be easier. Because right now, what do you deliver cloth? That could be super expensive. Is that the only way to do it? I don't know what they mean by streamlined. Like what I would like to see is just more ways to farm that rep, maybe. Not make it faster necessarily, but just more options in ways of doing it, if that makes sense. How would you feel about adding transmog? If they make cool sets and gear, then we don't need transmogs. But if they're gonna make some fucking ugly ass shit that you don't want to be found in, you know, like you don't want your friends to see you in that shit, maybe you want transmog, but I don't need it for sure. I think overall, no, but because it does give you a reason to play and collect stuff, right? Gives you more stuff to do, to collect. But at the same time, like it kind of, there's a vibe with like seeing the guy with Thunder Fury and seeing the guy with full onslaught gear in Orgrimmar, you know, like that is kind of cool. The thing is, people argue about how that affects vanilla PvP because you want to be able to look at someone and tell what gear they have and sort of gauge how strong they would be in PvP. So I guess that is the argument for no transmog. Plus, like, it's kind of cool to see the actual gear that they have on. I don't know, like transmog, yes, it's cool, but at the same time, I think most vanilla players don't want it, and I think there are some good parts about not having it too. You know, it has a positive and a negative side. Should the level cap ever increase from 60? No, never. The thing is, like, if they are gonna keep developing this game forever, no, I think never. Honestly, because what I don't like about how WoW has developed over the years is that when you log back on, everything that you did on your character is fucking useless now. The new level cap and the new raids have way better gear than what you used to have. And that is what I don't like. Everyone talks about the horizontal progression, where instead of making raids that give you better gear and you just infinitely scale your power level, you would rather make alternative gear pieces, alternative sets that give different bonuses and stuff and allows for a new playstyle, a new spec to be played, a new talent to be utilized, you know, like all kinds of shit. I think that would be more interesting than just infinitely power scaling and then you can fucking start one-tapping molten core bosses at some point, you know, like that is a bit silly to me. If you can go back into a raid and then one-tap a boss with like one hit, like nah, bro. Yeah, and having a reason to go back to the old raids to farm your bits and stuff, I think is great. You want to keep all the raids relevant so that when new players reach level 60 who haven't gotten all the gear yet, they want to do Molten Core for the gear so that they can then progress to Blackwing Lair and then progress to AQ40. Now there's more people still doing Molten Core so they can more easily find a raid to gear up, basically. Should Classic Plus have new zones? Yes, please. We need new zones, but we don't need a new continent or a new like island that didn't exist before. We just want the zones that are already like there. Mount Hyjal, you have like Uldum, you have the Blood Elf area, What else? There's more zones that are like the DK area. Like there's all these areas on the map that you can make into zones. Fuck yeah. We need those. The first thing they should add to Classic Plus is new leveling content. If they are gonna ask us to level 1 to 60 again in vanilla, there needs to be some new shit. There needs to be new shit before we hit 60. It can't just be raids and dungeons. It needs to be new leveling content, new zones, new quests, maybe new ways to level, like a new mechanic that gives you like some kind of activity that gives you XP that wasn't in the game before. Like, I don't fucking know. Like, just give us something new on the way to 60. And it should start, I think it should start pretty early. Like, I'm not talking level 1, but maybe from like level 10 onwards, you start seeing new shit, you know? If yes, where in Azeroth or beyond would you be okay with these zones to be? Only on the 2 main continents. Yes. Anywhere on Azeroth and any other planet dimension is fine. No, I don't like that. I want it to be on the original 2 continents. The thing I don't like about TBC and Wrath is how when you level a new character, all the old zones are pretty much dead because everyone is in Outland or in Northrend. Nobody's in the old zones anymore, pretty much. And it makes the old world kind of dead. You don't see max level people running around there a lot. Like, you do see it from time to time, of course, but I don't want a new continent that makes the old continent sort of irrelevant for anyone who is max level, you know? I want max levels to be running around every zone, pretty much, in the old world. I think that is the coolest way to do it. Should new content be added for leveling? Quest, low-level souls done it? Yes. Like I just said, that is the number one thing that needs to be there on launch. That is what they need to launch with. I don't care about the new raid to begin with. We need some new leveling shit. Because we need to be motivated to level to 60 again. Like, why would we do the same fucking journey that we have done 100 times if there's no new shit? We need the new shit, man. Should leveling be sped up? If they add more quests to the zones that don't have that many quests, new zones to level up in with a bunch of quests and whatever else in them, and maybe lower the mount level a little bit, all of that is gonna speed up the leveling naturally without having like a percentage boost or something. And I think that is the best way to do it. You just add more stuff and more quests, which makes it faster to level naturally without boosting your XP gains. I think that is enough, honestly. Just add more quests in the fucking zones that are dead as fuck with like 3 quests. Just add more quests, add more stuff to do. And then the leveling will be sped up naturally. Maybe they, like, I was thinking about like for alts, once you've reached level 60, I was thinking like, what if there's an heirloom tabard that has no stats on it? It just gives you like a 10% XP boost. That's it. I think that would be fine. But anything more than that, no. Should there be more class-specific quests? Sure. Why not? But only to... yes, I don't know. Yes, to unlock, like we unlocked runes in Season of Discovery, there should be, maybe if they're adding more spells to certain classes, I think that could be related to a quest or something else. Like, for sure, yeah. Why not? Should there be more epic quest lines? Sure. More quests, always. Which of the following best describes how you'd like to see changes in Classic Plus old raids? I prefer the old raids exactly how they were, easy. Tune them as needed for any change in player power, but keep the spirit. Yes. I think if our player power is going to be stronger, like in SOD, we were way stronger, then we also need to tune the raids so that they don't become too fucking easy, you know? Add more complex, difficult mechanics similar to Season of Mastery, Season of Discovery for a fresh challenge. Did they do that to the old raids? I feel like Season of Discovery was so easy. I don't know. Okay, sure. Do all above plus new bosses and areas within them. I mean, I think all of these 3 are fine. Like, tune them based on player power, add some more complexity. I don't mind that either because they are fucking easy. Do all of the above plus new bosses and areas with them. Okay, I'll pick that one, I think. Should there be new raids? Yes, but only stuff that already exists in original Azeroth. Karazhan and Grim Battle. Yeah, Karazhan would be fucking sick, man. Add Karazhan, why not? Yes, propose raids that already exist in the world, plus create some new interesting ones, like Scarlet Enclave. So, I mean, Scarlet Enclave is already in the world, isn't it? I'm confused. What is the difference between Karazhan, Grim Battle, and Scarlet Enclave? Yeah, I mean, sure, new raids is fun. I don't want to do only Molten Core and Blackwing Lair and all the same raids again. Like, bring some new raids. Section 4, the player. Should Classic Plus have new playable races? And if so, which of the following categories would be acceptable? Check all that applies. So I'm thinking like, if they're gonna add anything like Blood Elves, Goblins exist, I mean, just add races that it makes sense to the world, right? Murlocs, yes, dude, Murloc Overlords, let's go. I think just any race that makes sense in Azeroth would be fine, right? I don't really care. Like, I'm fine playing the original ones, but they could also add like Blood Elves and Goblins and whatever the fuck else. Should Classic Plus have new classes? I think no. I don't know. Maybe? Like, it would be interesting. I don't think Monk, Demon Hunter, or Evoker, I don't know about those. But if there's something we haven't seen that fits the classic playstyle, maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna click no opinion on that, to be honest, because I don't know. Death Knights might make sense with Naxxramas and shit, right? But I don't know. No opinion. Should new race class combos be added? Yes, but only stuff with the lore that makes sense. Keep faction races feeling unique. Allow any race to be any class. Oh, this one's a bit hard. I do like the original combination and how iconic they are, but at the same time, Alliance not having Wind Fury, bro, that shit is insane. So it depends if they add Wind Fury to Alliance somehow, like they did in SOD with the Feral Druids, then maybe. But if they don't, then I feel like everyone's gonna play Horde, you know? Like, why would you play Alliance without Wind Fury, bro? Makes no sense. I don't know. I'm gonna put no opinion because there's so many questions that I have about all of these. So yeah. Should the Horde have... Okay, so here they have it. Okay. The original combinations are... okay, yes, but only stuff within the lore that makes sense and keeps faction races feeling unique. Maybe I'll pick that one and then do yes on this one. It completely depends how they implement everything, right? Like if they do like SOD where Ferals can give Wind Fury, then no, we don't necessarily need it. It's kind of cool to have the Paladins and Shamans, which feel appropriate to the Alliance side and the Horde side. But if there's no equivalent of the Wind Fury on the Alliance side, then it's gonna feel like shit to play Alliance, you know? Like how are they ever gonna log good logs? They're not gonna log good logs without Wind Fury. But then again, should we care about logs? I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't. I like logging. New base abilities, spells, class role combinations, etc. Yes, some new spells that modernize ability rotation. I think this is a good one. This is what SOD did. I think SOD went a little crazy because we had insane DPS on SOD. Insane DPS. But I think that you don't want to spam one ability over and over. That would be fucking boring, right? If it can feel like Wrath a little bit in the how it plays, that is at least my personal preference. Not waiting fucking 2 seconds to get 20 energy in, man. Like that shit is, oh my god. Should talent specializations be reworked? Somewhat, but only with a light touch. I think that is fine. Give some classes a new talent that makes them be able to compete with other DPSs, you know? Should a 4th new talent specialization be added? Should every specialization be competitive in both PvE and PvP? Yes, every spec should be viable in all scenarios. I don't even know how you would fucking do that. That would require some insane changes and just wow. I don't think that would be possible. Not in most cases, but vanilla hybrid classes don't perform well in PvE outside of healing. Those classes should use a bit of love. Yes. No, every spec needs to be not every spec needs to be perfectly raid PvP viable. Overtuning for PvE balance would break PvP and vice versa. I think like they do need to buff some classes in certain areas for sure. If they just leave it as is, there's going to be so many classes that are just not picked and played pretty much. Dual spec, absolutely. Should new professions be added? Yeah. Why not? Should professions be updated to have more endgame relevance? Yes, I absolutely believe that. When I have a profession in WoW and I leveled it to max and gotten what I needed from it, I don't really feel like I'm a blacksmith anymore. Like it's just there. It's just a profession that I have. I would love for it to be more relevant. Like I remember in SOD, I think you would craft certain items to deliver it to a reputation or something, and that made me pay more attention to my profession and craft stuff to make some gold. Because certain items was needed for certain quests and deliveries, and I think that was cool. Like stuff like that, and more stuff to craft to make professions relevant in raids, like maybe a bis item here and there. That would be awesome, man. More of that, please. Yes. That was it. Maybe we should do more of these on a later date.